You know who it is, and you know what time it is. Time to piss off some feminists, trad cucks, and whoever don't want to know the truth. Oh well, let's get started. What is going on, gents? It's R.P.M. here, reporting from Mobile Command. Gentlemen, a couple of months ago, I posted a video on MGTOW.tv, and that video is going to be in the description box, called Future Preparations. Now, in that video, I talked about how China was openly talking about their masculinity crisis. And of course, my military mind went into play, and how effectively China is starting its long game. It appears that talking about their masculinity crisis was step one. Gentlemen, we now have step two. Now, this article was published on the 14th of April. A Chinese platform is erasing, quote unquote, radical accounts that shun men and the patriarchy. Now, this presents a scenario that I honestly would have never thought of, and I'm going to go into that later. A Chinese social media platform called Douban is usually seen as the last online sanctuary for China's liberal internet users. But the platform is now crushing ideas Beijing doesn't seem to favor, including a line of feminist thinking that effectively encourages women to boycott men. Well. It has begun. Now, this goes back to something that I said in my most recent video. The modern society that finally decides to either stamp out or tamp down on feminism will eventually rule the world. I guess I better start learning Cantonese or Mandarin, depending on which dialect that they use. Douban, a book and film review site that also has hundreds of thousands of discussion forums under varying topics, shut down more than 10 feminist groups on Monday, April 12th. According to Chinese internet users who posted about the incident on Weibo, as well as a report by What's on Weibo, a website that tracks China's social media trends. Many of the censored groups were related to the notion of quote unquote 6B4T, a feminist movement that originated in South Korea. Wow. And driven by the idea of women becoming more empowered by shunning activities seen as centered around or designed to benefit men. The outstandingly short-sighted ability that women have is outright astronomical. All of those quote-unquote activities seen to benefit men actually benefit women in the long run, i.e., the building of a safe, secure society that actually allows same said women to operate in. Woo! Boy, I tell you. But this is going to get very interesting. The 6B of the term refers to not getting married, not having romantic relationships, not having children, not having sex with men, not buying misogynistic products, and offering to help other single women. Meanwhile, the 4T stands for ditching rigid beauty standards, literally taking off corsets, rejecting the obsession with Japanese manga and anime known as otaku culture for their hypersexual depictions of women, breaking away from religion and not partaking in fan culture around male or female celebrities. Wow. Once again, as KS would say, feminism can only happen in a first world country. Or, as I'm going to tweak it and have tweaked it, feminism can only happen in a civil society. You don't have to be a first world country to be civil. Just saying. In China, where feminist activists have been detained for passing out stickers against sexual harassment, many of these ideas are seen as not just quote unquote radical, but potentially a threat to social stability. China is not fucking around. The Communist Party is increasingly concerned about the country's declining birth rate and falling marriage rate, which is why it may regard the 6B4T philosophy as a dangerous view that needs to be eradicated, says observers. Uh-oh! Well. According to screenshots shared by members, link in Chinese, of the censor groups, Dubon said in a notice to them that the forums were being erased because they contained, quote unquote, extremism and radical political and ideological thoughts. The company said the decision was based on complaints from users and quote unquote related departments and attached links to China's cybersecurity law and other internet regulations. Some of the erased groups didn't advocate 6B4T, but simply discussed feminist ideas, according to online news portals, the RPM. Some Weibo users also said they were unable to even post about the blocking of the groups on Dubon. It is the idea of simply not wanting to have any relationship with men extremism, asked one user on Weibo, whose remarks has been linked more than 2,000 times. Dubon didn't immediately reply to a request for a comment. While the space for feminist activism in China has shrunk in recent years as part of a larger crackdown on freedom of speech under President Xi Jinping, online criticism of patriarchal values has become more common. Activists last year decreed moves by state-owned media to use women as propaganda tools in efforts to contain the Charlie 19 pandemic. There was also an online uproar when a state-run TV program downplayed their contribution to the fight against the virus. But there have already been repercussions towards such discussions. Yang Li, a female stand-up comedian who became famous for her punchlines mocking fragile male egos, recently faced a huge backlash from internet users who accuse her of stoking a gender war, prompting Intel to remove an advertisement featuring her last month. Wow. What happens when cancel culture turns around and cancels you? Ironically, Dubon's censorship of the groups has had a Streisand effect. The move helped 6B4T become a trending term on Weibo, prompting users to ask what it is. Once it was explained, many argued that it was not a radical notion at all. The hashtag Women Let's Unite also started to gain traction on Weibo after the platform's actions against the accounts became public, with many sharing screenshots of feminist movies and slogans urging women to resist suppression. Jiang Ji, who became the face of China's hashtag #MeToo movement for suing well-known TV host Zhu Jun for sexual harassment, also voiced support for 6B4T in a Weibo post yesterday. Quote unquote, I firmly support my Dubon sisters and am firmly against its censorship of the groups. This feminist idea is an important subgenre of online feminism. By censoring the groups, Dubon is also censoring feminist content. Secondly, 6B4T is not a radical movement. It is essentially just women's self-requirement for themselves and not related to others at all. When even theories like this are banned, women who insist on being single are seen as rebellious. This is exactly why we need to firmly support Dubon sisters. Well. Gentlemen, what I'm about to say, you guys know I operate from an extremely logical and surgical mind. When I said that the one civil society, the civil modern society, who either stamps out or tamps down on feminism would be the society that ends up ruling the world, that society has to be a largely homogeneous society. America can't do it. Western countries can't do it. But a country like China can do it. And it looks like China will do it in the long run. Why? Because they're putting the survival of their people above the complaints of a few disgruntled women. Now the scenario that I never thought would happen. What happens if Big Daddy government itself finally decides that they don't want to deal with feminists anymore? It's kind of a mini screwfly solution without the masks being put on. Yeah. Do you honestly believe that the white knights are going to go against the government itself? Nope. Now, there was a very interesting comment, and I really can't remember who left it. Shout yourself out in the comment section. But he said that there was going to be a point that could possibly happen since so many men in the West are walking away from women that the government might try to actually force men onto women. But then I said, well, listen, actually, there are more women than there are men. So if anything, the government might try to force women onto men. And until the laws change, if the government actually tries to do something like that, then yeah, I think hockey mask time will soar to an all-time high. The social contract between men and women has been destroyed. Western and westernized foreign countries have seen to it. So, what's it going to take? Looks like China is going in the right direction. Promote masculinity, step 1. Start eradicating feminism, step 2. Get the government out of relationships and then let nature run its course. Because that right there is essential for the survival of said culture. But unfortunately, over here, it's just not going to work. Western countries, it's not going to work. So we can sit back and continue to enjoy the decline. Let's watch it all burn because, wow, insofar as the West, when you saw what happened on Fresh and Fit with Kevin Samuels and those OnlyFans girls, that is the common mindset of the modern woman, particularly the modern young woman. So what do you think's going to happen if we are invaded? You think the men are going to have a reason to step up and fight? Nope. And I don't blame them. I will no longer besmirch any man that says, I'm not joining the military. No way, no how, no sir. Why am I going to put my neck out for a society that hates me for no reason? And that's a growing sentiment among younger men. Ladies, particularly you ladies in the West, that's it. Game over. Oh well, this is fun. I'm enjoying watching all of this. As society continues to metaphorically burn, I sit back and enjoy it. Well, read the article and watch the video. Let me know what you guys think. And ladies, one day the power will go out. Feminism will go out right along with it. Because now we have a new scenario that could be put into motion. What happens when Big Daddy government turns on you? Looks like China's playing out that scenario. Oh well, it is what it is. That's all I got to say for this one. RPM, I am